Hi everyone! Today I'm going to talk about the types of verbs we use in English. I'll cover main verbs, auxiliary verbs or helping verbs, and their different types, and I'll also cover linking verbs. The most common and essential verbs for a sentence are the main verbs. These verbs tell us an action or a state of the subject. If you haven't watched my video on stative verbs, I will link it in the description box below so that you can learn the difference between action and stative verbs. Here are some examples of main verbs in a sentence. They play basketball on Saturday. Play is the main verb. John calls his mother after work. Calls is the main verb. We left for work at 8 o'clock. Left is the main verb. Another type of verbs we use in English are auxiliary verbs. Auxiliary verbs are used to change or modify the meaning of the main verb. Usually, they do not exist on their own, only with another main verb. They are also called helping verbs. Auxiliary verbs include modal verbs, verbs used for different tenses like have, for forming the present perfect, and the verb do. Let's talk about modal verbs first. I do have a separate video that goes into modal verbs in much more detail, and I'll link it down below. Modal verbs are used to change the meaning of the main verb. We use them to express things like possibility, ability, requests, and obligations. The most common modal verbs include can, could, would, should, may, and might. There are others you may have learned as well. For example, I would like to order a large coffee, please. I can help you carry that. It should be sunny this weekend. She might go to the party next week. All of the modal verbs in these sentences, would, can, should, and might, are adding more information about the main verb. Next, we have auxiliary verbs that are added to sentences to change the verb tense of the sentence. For example, we use have or has to change a sentence to the present perfect. We use going to or will to change a sentence to the future tense. We use was or were to change a sentence to the past tense continuous. For example, I have called you 3 times today. He is going to go to the gym later. She will be late for work. They were watching a movie on Sunday. All of these auxiliary verbs change the verb tense of the sentence. Another auxiliary verb is the verb do. We use this verb when we are forming questions. Do you want the chocolate or vanilla ice cream? Or we use do to form a negative in a sentence. She does not eat meat. Another type of verb is a linking verb. We use linking verbs to describe our subject. So instead of talking about an action the subject is doing, the linking verb gives more detail about the state of the subject. The most common linking verb is be, or in a sentence it is used as is, am, or are. For example, the frog is green. Is the linking verb here. I am happy it's Friday. Am is the linking verb. The 3 verbs that are always linking verbs are be, becomes, and seems. Other common linking verbs are verbs that describe a sense, like verbs like smells, feels, sounds, looks, and tastes. These are all linking verbs. Thanks for watching. Next time, I'll talk about transitive and intransitive verbs, which is a different way we can put verbs into categories. I'll see you then. Bye!